All right, we are recording.
Hey, good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Bisbee Arts Commission on Monday, April 5th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. First things first, we'll do roll call.
Jenny Druckman. I thought she was here a minute ago, wasn't she?
We lost her for a sec. I assume she's coming back. I think she must have a signal thing.
Okay, and then Juanetta Hill,
Present.
Bill Higgins,
Present.
Karen Schumacher,
Present.
Sharon Stetter,
Here.
Amy Brett,
Here.
Nina Williams, present.
All right, great. So next we go to call to the public. I know that we have two members of the public here, but I assume that they're speaking on their own agenda items. Is that correct, Ramona and Rita?
Yes. Sure.
So otherwise we'll go ahead and go to item 1, which is approval of the minutes of the March 3rd, 2021 meeting. I'll give you a second to review it and then I'll wait for a motion, okay?
Oh, got a dog here.
Well, you have one, I have too many here is the problem.
I move to approve the minutes of the March 3rd, 2021 meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second. Juanetta.
Juanetta seconded. I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry, you guys. All right, motion approved. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our 2 grant applications.
You
So the
have
way
to-
this works for,
You have to first
What?
finish your motion. You have to say all in favor or all opposed.
I'm sorry.
That's
That's my mind.
Oh shit, did I lose you guys? Damn.
No, you're still there. All
Okay,
in favor of the approval of the minutes of March 3rd, 2021?
aye.
Aye.
Nays? Thank you, guys. So item 2, so like I said, so we're going to item 2 and item 3. These are both grant applications. The way it's gonna work, or it has worked in the past, is that once we open your item up, I'll ask you, Rita, and you, Ramona, to give us a brief synopsis of what it is that you're asking money for. We do have your application. And then we'll open it up to commission members to ask you guys questions, okay?
Sure.
Sound good?
Yes.
So the item 2, discussion and possible action regarding grant application received for 2020-2021 funding in the amount of $500 to Rita Very for the Best Kept Secrets of Bisbee, which will showcase Bisbee's varied and unique artists, performers, and musicians. So Rita, if you want to give us a brief synopsis of your project, that would be great, and then we'll talk about it.
Sure. So I wanted to put together a show that would feature some new works that I have and old works that I'd like to revise. It's been a couple of quite a bit of time has gone by since I've done some work, and I wanted to audition some dancers up at the university, or maybe use some dancers in Douglas and also Alma Dolores' School of Dance. They have some wonderful dancers there, and I want to put them in some pieces I want to do. For example, one of the pieces I want to do is called Visual Music, and I take a piece of music that has 3 instruments, and I will audition the dancers that I feel visually look like the instruments that are in the piece. And then I'll probably blacklight them, but it's going to, I call it visual music because it's going to look just like what you're seeing is what you're hearing. And then I want to bring in Parush and Abigail. Well, at least I've talked to Abigail because Parush has been a little bit out of touch, would like to do some new works. We had been putting together some old works of Parush. We were working on those right before the pandemic. We were working on a couple of Vivaldi pieces. So whether or not he wants to do that or not, I'm not quite sure. But I talked to Abigail about doing that. I've also talked about Angela Rockefeller, who is a aerial artist, but she's also a burlesque, professional burlesque. So we were talking about her doing something in the show. This show, I'm going to also feature a couple of the works from the history of Bisbee, but it will be just two pieces, the deportation and maybe the miners dancers, because I feel like that's part of Bisbee's history. And I'm just working with new artists, new young artists who may or may not be ready to showcase some of her works, possibly a couple of musicians. And Doug Wyman is going to host the show. I don't know, is everybody familiar with Doug? I can't see anybody here, so I don't know if you're.
Oh,
can't see
sorry.
your-
So,
Well, Doug did the, he did a great, hi Juanetta, he did a great show. He hosted the thrift store fundraiser. And he was so funny. He's a Liza Minnelli impersonator. And he was amazing. So he's already agreed to host the show and he's wonderful. So I think it'll be so much fun. I put down a date, but it's still in the works because of course everything is still up in the air, but I'm hoping for the end of October, like around Halloween. If we can get the theater open, Karen, I have to present that to the Central School Project because it would be held at the Central School Theater. So right now that's kind of, I think I've covered all the things I want to do. So we'll see. It will evolve. Any questions from anybody now?
Sounds like fun.
Oh,
yes,
good. I hope so. I'm finally seeing everybody who's here because I can't see everybody.
so,
I want it to be so much fun, of course.
so Rita, how will you fund the other part of the show?
Well, the last show, I produced it myself.
Yeah.
And the ticket sales, it did come out to about $8,000 or $10,000 that I put out myself. However, thank goodness I was able to make that money back with ticket sales and grants and of course sponsors. So I'm hoping to do the same. I mean, of course it would be wonderful to make a profit. That's probably there's not a very big chance of that. And I also want to pay a couple of people, but it depends on the money. It depends on what comes in. But I usually fund everything myself. So this will help. But unless you want to give me a lot more money.
I just wanted to point out too that for those of you that were not here last time, we did fund part of Rita's show. Was it last year or the year before? It was
was
year
two-
before because nothing happened last year. And it was incredibly well received by the community. One thing that Rita, I know that there was a question on your final report last time about just being specific about what the Arts Commission paid for. And
Right.
so I know that we
I think I just broke it down to the production. I can't remember, but production of just the production. Going into the studio at Matt, who is my production manager, he did all the editing. I think that was it. But yes, so you're asking for this one, you'd like me to break it down a little bit more in detail? Sure.
Yeah, the Arts Commission should pay for performers or something, just tell us this time when in your final report, if we vote on it,
Sure.
exactly what we are, the money went to, just so we can keep track of it.
I see. I just thought because I spend so much money, I just gave you one aspect of it. So,
That's fine.
all right,
fine.
that's
I'm not
fine. No,
concerned about it.
I
It's just
told it, you wanted to
part of
be
it
more
is for the
specific.
people.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah,
just-
absolutely.
But I'm not worried about it. Do we have any other questions? Do I have a motion then?
I move that we grant Rita Vera the money to put on her dance show.
Thank you.
Dan was not in that original sentence, but is that what you just said? I think it is what you said.
I don't know.
So Bill moves to approve the grant funding application in the amount of $500 for Rita's production of The Best Kept Secrets of Bisbee. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, we both will.
or Amy, Jenny seconded it. Do all ayes?
Hi.
Any nays? So Rita, we approve your funding of 500. As a reminder from last time, it does have to go through city council. We don't foresee any issues with that. It's just a timeline issue. So it will take probably about a month to a month and a half to receive your funding, okay?
All right, and then of course the dates. Thank you. So everybody, thank you so much. That's so wonderful. It really helps. But I just want to ask a question. So because of COVID, as long as it's within the year, correct? I'm assuming, I mean, it's going to be before a year because I want to do it. But it's going to be a little bit more not as set in stone right now because of COVID.
Exactly. So we are being a lot more flexible with that. If something happens, God forbid, and the world and things, you're not able to do it this year. That's what we're looking for, is funding for this
Of
year.
course.
If you can't do it this year because of unforeseen circumstances, we just ask that you contact Nina. We put it on the agenda and we discuss pushing the funding till next year. I mean, hopefully
Yeah.
it will happen this year, but
I'm
we're
hoping.
very flexible. We will later in this month be having a grant informational session that's going to talk about that, because we're doing right now we're doing rolling grant applications because everybody has no idea when they're actually going to be able to do their events.
Okay. All right. Well,
We're very flexible right now.
all right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. I can't see you, but thank you.
Bye.
And
Rita.
thank you.
Bye.
And I appreciate it. Thank you. Can I leave now the meeting or?
You're fine. If you'd like to leave now, you can. Yeah.
Okay, no, because I'm in New York right now at a friend's house.
We just ask
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Have a great evening. So appreciate you all. I really do. Thank you. I can't wait to see you all in person. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Right, excellent. So item 3, we're going to move along. Discussion and possible action regarding grant application received for 2020-2021 funding in the amount of $500 to Ramona Rose Perota. Is that correct?
Parada, yes.
Perota, thank you. For She, which is a working title. And same thing, Ramona, what we're going to do is we read your application, but just give us a brief synopsis while we're in the meeting of what it is that you were intending to do.
Okay, thanks.
Maybe,
Thank you for having me.
yeah, maybe a little bit of a introduction, because I know there's a lot of people who aren't familiar with you.
Okay. Hello, my name's Ramona. I live in Bisbee and I've lived here for a year and a half now. I previously lived in California for 7 years and I'm from upstate New York. I transferred to Bisbee after an artist residency. I just stayed for a few more months and then officially stayed when the pandemic hit. So my project is a film photography project inspired by Richard Avedon's American West series. I want to photograph women in Bisbee from all ages in black and white. And the project idea just hit me one day. I wanted to photograph women in Bisbee. I feel like there's so many women who don't necessarily have a platform or so fascinating, and I wanted to photograph them and help tell their stories. And my friend Caitlin Peterson might write to accompany the work. So yeah, that is the book idea.
And Ramona, what's your background? Have you done something like this before?
I have never done a large scale project like this before, but my background is in photography and film and writing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bill Higgins, do you guys have any questions?
So what would the city be funding? What would be the BAC be funding? What's our goal?
Be funding the costs of film. I also applied for another grant for a film photo award. If I'm awarded that, they'll be providing me 100 rolls of film, which would take care of the cost of all of the film. In that case, the $500 would be allocated to the costs of developing the film.
Okay.
And so the interaction with the town would be that you were obviously photographing the town, and also you said something in your application about you would have a reception.
Yes, I want to do black and white dark room prints. That's a large process. So realistically, the shooting is going to take place this year, but because of the amount of time it takes to produce black and white prints, I think that would mean the show would be next spring, if I'm going to be realistic.
But you would start working obviously this year once you get your funding.
Oh yeah, next month.
Okay.
Ask the same question then. Bisbee Art Commission would cover the cost of your film and some of the development. What is, are there, do you have other sources of funding as well? And where will you showcase this after it's completed?
The grant money will fund one or the other. I am guessing that per subject, per person I photograph, I will shoot 1 to 2 rolls of film, and that's medium format. And so there's 12 images per roll. So that's just an estimate. I'd cap it at 2 rolls. And there's about, I want to shoot about 30 to 40 people. So that's about 100 rolls of film. 100 rolls of that film is about, I have it all on the chart. I haven't looked at it today, but it's a little over the cost of $500. But if I get the film photo award, they'll give me all that film.
Mhm.
I'll use the funding from BAC for the development costs. Jones Photo, I've been going to them for a while. They charge $8.90 a roll, and that's very reasonable for film development costs. I don't have a location yet, but I have a few ideas for a place to have a reception. One would be Dave Rose's place in Lowell, his gallery, the old Chevron station. Maybe I'm saying his wrong, but another one I've thought of, but I haven't reached out to anyone yet, is Central School Project.
The Central School sometimes books out, seems like a year in advance. So you may want to contact Karen over there as soon as possible. So if you're looking at next year so that she can put it, I'm seeing Karen.
Lori.
Yes, Lori, so that she can put it on the schedule.
Okay, thank you.
No, one at a good point. Yeah, Ramona, always right now the world is wide open at Central
Yes.
School because we're not having events. But as soon as you know, the board gives the green light to do something, then it does book up pretty fast. But we do have we have a gallery within the gallery, a smaller gallery, which is more available too. It just depends on what kind of space you're looking for. Okay. So, any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. How will you be presenting the story of each of the women? Is this going to be a print type along with the photo?
That's a good question. That isn't quite hammered out yet because that would be a collaboration with the writer and maybe someone who, for example, Karen, who runs Central School, if we did the project there, maybe she would have some input of how we want to present the writing. But I know the writer would be conducting interviews with these women to tell their stories. And so the writing portion isn't yet hammered out of how to present it, but probably text. And maybe there would be an online showing of these images with more text.
Are you looking for a specific kind of story to tell? I mean, I'm curious about the women that you're featuring and curious about where, you know, it's just a question. It doesn't affect my opinion of whether or not you should do it. I think you should. So, but is there any other, like, other than women of Bisbee, is there any other theme?
No, there's not. They could be anything from a worker, a social worker, to an artist, to
So just
maybe
any story. It's not like you're
story.
looking to.
to tell possibly about their lives and maybe how they ended up in Bisbee.
Oh, okay.
And particularly, a lot of people are talking about how Bisbee is changing right now. And I'm interested in capturing this moment of Bisbee before maybe it changes beyond what everyone has known it as. So, like, who's here now and who has been here, and how have they made Bisbee what it is today?
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Said there's a writer that is involved in that. You have a writer that's doing the script and you're doing the photography.
There is a writer who will be doing the interviews and writing up. Yes.
Okay.
Right, any additional questions? And Leslie Johns has joined us. She's just down there in the corner muted. I just realized. Then do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the grant funding for Ramona Rose Parada in the amount of $500 for She, the working title.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Sharon seconded. All ayes.
I
Aye.
So Ramona, so we received your funding. Once again, like I said, is that with same thing with Rita. It takes a little time because we are part of the city of Bisbee, so it has to go through the city council. That's usually just it's just consent agenda. They just vote on it, but it takes about a month and a half. And so you included a address on your application,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where you'll receive a check through that address. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
And the one thing to mention, Rita knew this because we went through it with her on her last project, but you do obviously have to give credit to the Bisbee Arts Commission if you have posters and things like that, you know?
Okay, yeah,
And if you have any questions, just reach out to us, okay?
will do. Thank you, everybody.
We look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, guys. I like this rolling application thing in the sense of having a couple different people every time.
Yeah, more interesting meetings.
yes.
No, you don't just have to look at us, right? So
I'm having a lot of trouble hearing you, Karen.
Yeah,
you
you're
can hear me?
hard to hear.
I don't hear that. I don't get to hear that very often in this life.
I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
And I don't, and you know I can't hear, but I can hear you.
It's also, I'm outside. We're outside, but like I said, I was trying to escape from band practice. So I apologize for that. If anybody can't hear me at some point, just please yell out my name. and
I
tell
can't
me.
hear you very well. Can you put your volume up at all?
My volume is all the way up.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
I can't hear you either, but if I squeeze up to my computer, I can.
Yeah, I can open up my computer and see if I can change the volume thing, but I don't, it's at the loudest right now.
You were louder a minute ago. It's like you got loud and then you got quiet again.
A leaf fell on your microphone.
Yeah, check for leaves.
I'll try and speak up. Okay, is that better?
Sounds fine to me.
Okay.
Fine.
Can you turn, is it possible you can't turn your sound up at all?
Yeah.
That mine is at the maximum right now. So, and I'll go into my computer and see if I can change that and make it louder. Otherwise, item 4, which says
Doesn't
item
exist.
5.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Item 4 doesn't exist.
No, I know. So item 5, updates and discussion on the SIG art machine.
Oh.
Commissioner Stetter.
Well, you guys, it's getting out of control. The machine sold 77 pieces in
Wow.
25 days or 24 days. So
Wow.
I know we're turning in $1,440 for March. So
That's fantastic.
I know, but I need more art. Literally, I can't keep up. I mean, I can't keep up with getting the art. If I had the art, it would be in the machine. Russell Cat Daddy just posted a picture of new pieces he's putting in. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
So, pieces are coming in. I just picked up 8 from my brother, but it's really been complicated trying to get it full. But, that's just the way it is. If you know any artists, it's what I can offer is that what I want to have is backup art. So when I have an empty slot in the machine, I can just transfer a new artist into the slot and then we'll bring back artists that may have to be eliminated while there's slots are empty, but we can bring them back in. But it just gives it also gives a little more, I think, maybe fairness to people who want to put their work in the machine. So
So
that would work.
are do people hunt you down to put art in the art machine?
No, nobody hunts me down. That's the problem. I need to be hunted down. I need art. Basically what I'm saying, if you know any artists who want their work in the machine, if you've offered me names, I've written to people, they're not getting back to me. So I think, Juanetta, you may have offered me some names, but I haven't heard from any.
Could we maybe put that out on social media?
Yeah.
Give a call to artists local.
Yeah, we could. We can't accept everything, so that's that, but.
Try it. You can try like a localized, call out or something. That's a good idea.
Right. I haven't even tried to promote the machine. Actually, last month, I don't think I promoted it one single time.
Well, I think that it's mostly because we're selling to tourists, right?
Yeah, isn't that wonderful too? So yeah, so tourist money coming into our, opportunity to give grants to local artists is great. That's what we want. So I don't have anything else to say. Just help me with artists.
Yeah, and we can talk to. I know I have Brad Hardy's. He's getting stuff ready for you.
Good.
And then thinking of other people, I could send an email out to Central School.
If anybody wants to, I have talked to a few artists, and they're starting to produce pieces for me. So know that there are things coming in. I'm only complaining at the moment because there's, I think, 4 empty slots in the machine, but they'll be filled soon. So it'd be nice to have backup.
Our quarterlies are due right now, aren't they? Our quarterly payouts.
We decided to turn it to every 4 months to do it instead of every 3 months. So we actually was going to wait let's talk to Nina. Nina, can we bring you in on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Nina. So I wanted to bring you in because you were talking about how certain artists have not cashed checks. And that we should bring it up at the meeting.
Yes,
is
ma'am.
it time to bring that up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We can bring that up. What I will tell you is I told them to void those checks.
Yeah.
And we would just have to have another check request sent back in if they wanted to be paid for those. But what I'd like to do is make sure that they receive their checks. So if there's a way we could get an email address and I could let them know when it was mailed out, make sure that they are looking in their mail. That way it'd be easier.
Yeah, right. You do have all of that information, I think, but I will send it to you again. It should be with their forms. Oh, maybe you don't have those forms. You only have the W-9s. Okay. We can do that. But originally I suggested if you had sent to me the checks, when the checks are issued, then I can write to the artists and tell them the checks are coming and that they can get back to me if they don't receive it. That would save you one more hassle of a thing to do.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. So when they get mailed out, I can let you know.
And I actually like recording in the inventory that I keep the check date that it went, that the artist was paid, because all I have right now is a request to pay on a certain date, but I don't know when they get paid. So it really does kind of make sense for me to keep track of it. Okay. All right.
Okay. We can start that going forward.
Right. Okay, good. All right, good. So we have on the next series, it'll be January, February, March, and April. So May 1st, I'll be doing inventory.
Okay, that sounds perfect. And I have, if anybody's wondering where the money is, it's in my purse and it's been there for a week.
Not quite a week.
Okay, not quite a week. So I'll get that to Nina. I'll drop it off to Nina on Wednesday. Okay, Sharon?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow afternoon. So if you need me to do it on Wednesday, I can also.
Bill and I can do it together because we're gonna go over and have
breakfast. Okay, good.
Yeah. Anything else about the SIG art machine?
No.
All right, then I'm going to turn over item 6, update on the Poets Corner, to Commissioner Druckmann. You're sorry, Jenny, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I've been rounding up poets that might be willing to record themselves and submit it to an ongoing program of the Poets Corner. I have about 15 people that I just received their contact information. So I'll start reaching out to them this week and see if they're, I mean, that most of them are people that have lived here for a very long time and have read poetry numerous times. So I'm going to ask them if they'd be willing to do a recording. And I think I said last time that it's really easy to do now on your phone. Did I describe that to you? Most people have some sort of voice memo app on their cell phone. So it's just a matter of recording yourself on your phone, and then you can email it to me, and then I send it to the radio station. So it's incredibly easy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of having people actually willing to do that. So what I feel like I'm going to do is I'm going to contact each of these people and tell them about this. And then I don't think I want to chase them around too much after that, because it's awfully easy to do it. If they want to be on the radio, it's incredibly easy. So I'll invite them.
That's a good idea.
But I don't know how much ongoing chasing I should or need to do. We can talk about that.
Oh, yeah, you can talk about, you have to always chase artists, period.
All right.
It's part of the job if you're gonna get
Okay, so I have to be a chaser.
kind of, yeah.
Right.
Pursue the arts.
Okay,
No.
so
Can I real quickly just say, Angela Rockefeller just sent me a text and she says she's very sorry. She's got a migraine, Nina. She's vomiting, blurred vision. She's miserable. So just know that she wants to be here. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt that. I just wanted to say what just came in. So anyway, I think you're doing a good job, Jenny. And
yeah, there's a lot of enthusiasm. There's so much enthusiasm from the radio station, Peter Young in particular, and everybody involved is like, yeah, bring them in. And we've had just a ton of enthusiasm. So it's now a matter of like really getting down to, can you just make the recording and
right.
and email it. So hopefully that momentum can continue.
Good.
Okay.
Then, any other questions about the Poets Corner? Then we'll move to item 7, update regarding the comic strip to put in the Bisbee Observer. Commissioner Hill.
Comic strip in the Bisbee Observer. I'm thinking that may never happen. Okay, so I have reached out to a number of people. I have a question for you. In my desperation, I contacted the art teacher at Bisbee High School.
Mm-hmm.
And she is interested in submitting something to the Observer, to us, to be posted in the Observer herself, and said she would, there are a number of youth that are artists that might be interested. So I said, we had never discussed youth. I don't know if that creates a challenge, if there is a age range in which we could actually pay an artist to a youth to at all. So I don't know if there are any guidelines including youth. So I've reached out to several others. I put a post in Facebook, and I'm not getting the same response that the poets, like Druckmann is getting for poets.
Well,
I don't know what to do.
Visual artists, I feel like, are different than poets. You know, I think that's not on you. I think visual poets love to have someone who is willing to listen.
Mhm.
Visual artists, I feel like, are like what Sharon was saying. It's harder to, you have to like nail them down. I don't know, in my experience. So I don't think that's on you. I think that the angle of going through the high school is actually a wonderful angle. And I
Mhm.
know that we did vote on paying a certain amount per comic.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
that would be true for any, you know, that would be true no matter what age they were. I think
Okay.
that's a great idea. And honestly,
Yeah, I do too. It
it
might be
serves
even,
our community a lot more to give than, the same. I mean, I love Bronwyn's comics, but we can't have Bronwyn or
right.
Willow
That's
Pencil.
correct.
If you can get, results out of going through the high school, I think that's amazing.
Um, our teacher was really excited about the possibility.
Was
And
it Gideon?
pardon me?
Gideon? Was it Gideon, the art teacher for the middle school?
Is it Maria Sorrow?
Okay, cool.
I don't know, is it?
No, I don't know. I know that Gideon is the art teacher, but I think that's the primary school and the elementary
I
school.
didn't go primary and elementary. I just went high school.
That it makes so much more sense. But, yeah, I would try that angle, keep on going with that angle, Juanetta, and see what you can get. I think that's great.
Well, you know what? I just thought maybe I'll ask if I could come in and do a brief introduction to what we're looking for, because the teacher is going to do it. And that's just a teacher. It's not a real person, So maybe someone coming in off the streets talking about being a cartoonist and to the art class. I'll ask her if I can do that. I might be able to get more of a response that way.
That sounds like a good
And
idea.
I work at the high school also, so some of the students are online still. So if you could do a video meeting, that might work as well. A lot of them, I mean, all day they have to have their class video and in
Okay.
person. But you could ask her.
I will definitely do that. I will definitely do that. In fact, I like the idea. She can just pipe me in as a video for 15 minutes or so, and the kids will appreciate not having to study during that period of time. And so I will reach out. I can send her an email tonight.
That sounds great. Keep us updated, Juanetta.
Yeah, so I am doing something. I'm just not getting the response that I thought we would get.
Juanetta, is the art teacher Maria?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Maria
No,
Asaro is
let
the
me
counselor.
let me pull her name up. Okay.
Okay.
Amy
Let me
knows.
do that
Amy
right
teaches
now.
there. What's the name of the teacher or the art teacher, Amy?
See, now I'm having a blank from old age.
I'm having a blank too, but that's
Her name, I could see her face. She just had a baby. I never talk to her because I'm always teaching math all day. But it'll come to me after we're done here, or I can look it up and tell you in a minute.
That's okay. That's
Hold on.
okay. I just wondered if it was Maria was still doing it or if she was doing something else.
Maria's the counselor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
will, hold on, I'll get it and I'll pipe back in at some point with it, okay?
Yeah, just keep us updated. I think that's a great angle,
Okay.
Does anybody have anything to add to the comic strip?
I just love that idea too.
Yeah, I think it's good. Really good.
All right, then we'll move to item 8, update and discussion on local artist video project, Commissioner Brett. So I know that I watched your video, Amy, and I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you sooner. This month has been a little bit bizarre. But let's open it up to the other commissioners too. I just want to tell you that considering that you had never done that before, I was very impressed. I think that, Lori's hard on herself and everyone else around her. So that kind of criticism, you know, I know that you felt like she was a little bit hard on you. I don't think it was personal. I just think that she felt like that was, you know, just the first try. So I'm hoping that you're still enthusiastic about it, but we'll open it up to you and see what you have to say.
Well, I didn't think she was hard on me at all. I'm really good about taking constructive criticism. So I just had foot surgery on Tuesday, so I have to take a little slight pause because I can't really walk, but I'm happy to do it. I've learned a lot. I did make another video for a PE teacher doing some sort of thing, but yes, I've learned a lot. I could see where I could improve, and I would love to continue. I just need probably another few weeks to get back on my foot.
Totally. I know. I mean,
Also, I need some artist suggestions if anybody has any, and it could be a musician too, or even the poets.
May I make a suggestion? Perhaps we can, you could use some of the artists in the machine that are already being very active with the Bisbee Arts Commission, because most of those people in the machine now anyway are fairly recognized in the community too. So that could be a fun way to get a list.
That's a great idea.
Sam and Poe and Judy Perry is no longer in there, but I'll send you that list of the artists that are in the SIG machine with all their contact information. And I'm going to send it to you, Nina, also, just so that you have it, but with their email stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that was great.
Okay, I'll send that to you, Amy.
So does everyone or anyone think I should continue with this, or does
Yes,
feedback?
definitely.
Yeah.
very much. And the reason I said Lori, because Lori said she didn't want it shown. That was where I was talking about but that's Lori McKenna is very hard on herself too. So I just wanted to point that out, that was not on you. She knows that about herself too.
Well,
So.
she had good feedback, and I appreciate it.
Oh, great. Well, we look forward to you, and we hope you feel better real soon.
Mm-hmm.
Foot surgery. Ow.
I know.
What in the world?
Well, I had a nerve taken out, so hopefully no more ow.
Oh, good. Anti-owl.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Then item 9, update and discussion on the window tribute. So the first thing I want to ask is, did someone pick up, Bill, were you able to pick up that thing today?
Yes, I got it.
All right,
I
cool.
have it. I can drop it off tomorrow or Wednesday or what.
So just for those who, like, Amy wasn't there, and I know Juanetta had to work, and other things, and Leslie obviously is, and Nina, but we did get most of the window together. I think it's looking really good. We got the artist to paint on the walls. Sharon, you haven't seen it yet, so.
Did it turn out with the names of the artists?
Yeah.
Oh, did he submit us a bill for that?
He didn't say anything about money to me, and I didn't say anything about money to him. But
It might be that he's donating it.
I don't know what he was very good. He came in, he got the job done. He was very fast, and he did a very good job.
We're so lucky to have a sign painter in town.
Yeah. Oh, he's good. Yeah, and I enjoyed talking to him, and yeah, he got it done. And I have the poster that goes on the wall. That's the one about Amy and Derek, and I picked that up today. And do you want me? Do you want it, Karen, or should I give it?
Karen's gonna mount it.
I'll get it from you on Wednesday.
Okay, all right, Karen. I'll bring it
I was
with
gonna
me.
do it tomorrow, but I have a weird eye. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but my lazy eye.
You got something in your eye a while ago.
I scratched my eye, and I'm still paying the price for it. So tomorrow I'm gonna take off, but just stay at home and try and rest my eye. But Wednesday I will not screw it up this time. I'll get it on the poster board.
I can help you.
And if you're there, Sharon, you and I can put it up.
Yep.
That sounds good. Okay. Great.
Yeah, the feedback I've gotten from Barbara Johnson, people who have contributed, has all been extraordinarily favorable.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Barbara Johnson said she cried.
Yeah.
She said she said it was moving, and even if she didn't know the artist, she would have thought it was very moving, and she was
Proud of it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
That's
good.
awesome.
We're doing a good thing, guys.
Yeah, I think so. It makes everybody, it seems to make the locals very happy, and hopefully it educates the tourists about who we all are, you know?
Right, right.
Yes.
Good. So I'll see you on Wednesday, Sharon and Bill as well.
Okay.
We'll finish that up.
All right.
And then the next item, does anybody have any questions about that before I move along? I'm sorry.
No.
No? Then item 10, discussion and possible approval to hold the grant funding informational session on Monday, 19th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. This was on me. We were going to have the grant informational session because I was going to host it and you guys were going to be there. I had a friend that died unexpectedly
Mm-hmm.
and I was not up to it, you know? So I just took a few days and I knew the last thing I wanted to do was talk to anyone
Mhm.
Yeah.
or the public. So if you guys are okay with that, I'm okay with that. So
Mhm.
Yes.
the new date. Does that sound good?
April the 19th, Monday, April 19th.
At
Okay.
5:30.
Yep.
So I'm sorry to cancel that. I just, sometimes when you can't handle something. So,
Yes.
so then
So,
do I have so go ahead, Jenny. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was going to move to approve to hold the grant funding information session on Monday, April 19th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m.
That's it.
Bill seconds. All ayes.
I
Aye. Any nays? Then motion approved. We will hold the grant funding informational session on Monday, April 19th. I'll start getting the word out as soon as possible. So that's great. And just it'll answer some of the questions like, Ramona had or Rita had about, how flexible are we being? And theoretically, we're being pretty flexible since the world is just one big ball of unknown at the moment. So,
Karen, I have a question real quick.
yeah,
I've
Leslie,
got,
please.
oh, no problem. I've got library committee that night. Do you need me at the grant informational session?
No, it's fine. I'd love the commission members to be there just so that we can all get on the same page about, what, questions about grants. But if you can't make it, that's totally understandable. Lily. We'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for asking. All right, item 11, discussion and possible approval to publish the grant funding advertising on the last Thursday of each month for the next 3 months and then reevaluate cost before taxes. Oh, then reevaluate cost before taxes is 120, so the period there. And so that's because we're doing the rolling grant funding. So we're going to keep on advertising. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Where are you advertising?
Oh, that for the funding for the Bisbee Observer.
$120 for the 3 months.
Hmm.
And that's them giving some of us the space for free.
Mhm.
She's
So
pretty
she-
giving.
Yeah, so she's giving us part of it. We just have to, it's $40 for our part. And she's giving the rest of it, she's donating.
Okay.
Same thing with the cartoons is that she gave us when we get it together and stuff and figure it out, she gave us the space for the cartoons for free. And also, of course, anytime that I want to write an editorial about the Arts Commission, she's always given it to us for free. I mean, it's an editorial, but Laura Swan has always been really giving about giving us space in the paper. So I don't have a problem with that.
Mm.
Does anybody have any questions about it?
No.
Then do I have a motion?
So I move to approve. Oh, excuse me.
Go ahead.
No, Amy, what was your question?
No, I was gonna do the
Oh, you were going to do it. Everybody keeps on beating everyone.
yeah, one at a.
Jeopardy.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, move to approve to publish the grant funding advertisement on the last Thursday of each month for the next 3 months for the cost of $120 plus tax, and then reevaluate.
I second that.
Okay.
All ayes.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion approved. We will be publishing for the next 3 months on the last Thursday of each month. Excellent. So item 12, discussion and possible approval to pay the Bisbee table, which actually would be the convention center, I think, rent for the placement of the SIG art machine in the convention center in the amount of $50 per month, going back to January 2021. I'm going to hand this over to Commissioner Stetter because she understands exactly what's going on with that.
Okay, let me explain that thus far we have not paid any rent per se to have the machine where it is, because we've been able to host events in the convention center where we pay to use the space and give money to the table for food or the winery, whatever, you know, whoever has helped us in the past. So they haven't asked for any kind of rent, though Georgia, the mother of the Pages, who kind of keeps track of all this stuff, will occasionally stop me and suggest that we should be paying rent just like the ATM machine. Anyway, let me bring it up to date. I spoke with Michael Page last week, had a meeting with him, because we are going to take over the case that's next to the SIG art machine. And that case is going to move to the side that faces the restaurant. We're going to take over that side of the building. It's just moving it a few feet, but it'll give it a kind of front and center position. And since it's actually going to be a rent to use the case, not to have the machine in there. So, and I like this idea from a couple standpoints. We don't have to keep it going, but right now it would be a nice idea. We have something almost ready to go into the case. It's a little mini museum with all the little mini artworks on the walls, and it's going to be very cute, but people will actually see what they're getting in the machine. So it gives us an advertising as if we need it. But it's really a fun thing, and we'll be able to put our Rose Johnson print in there to offer it for sale. And I have worked out an arrangement with the bookshop there that they will handle the sales for us if we have sales. So it's a really good thing for us to do, I think. And I really was thinking it initially because I wanted to mitigate any concern about whether or not we should be paying when they hear that we're doing so well with the machine, which they do hear because Tamara is one of the artists in there. So yeah, so I don't want them to think that we're taking all this money and not recognizing the position of the machine being a significant reason for its success. Okay, does that make sense, everyone?
Makes perfect sense.
Can I rephrase that? So as we expand our empire in the convention center, a token. So last month we made what, $1,500?
Well, it was $1,440 that I turned in, and that was from sometime after March. Maybe it was about March 5th to April 1st. So so that's a lot of pieces. It's 77 pieces. Of that, $770 for sure belongs to the BAC, but some artists give their full they don't take any money, and they give the full amount that they make to the BAC. So in some cases we're always doing better than 50%, just to let you know.
So you think if we pay them $50 a month, that does include that cabinet?
I think what we ought to do is hand them a check for the whole year. Don't pay them $50 a month. Say, this is a check for the use of this space in 2021, and it's $600, and we're done. And it looks more significant than little $50 checks being distributed. So,
Nina, would we have to re-vote on that, since that would be the entire year of rent? $600.
You know what, you can just make a different motion. Instead of saying the $50 per month going back to January, just put in the amount of $600 for the year 2021.
okay.
Does anybody have any questions?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I think it's good because for those of you who weren't with us before, the odyssey of where to put the SIG art machine was overwhelming, and we had to move it a couple times, and it was horrible. And there was actually no location on earth that would do as well as that one in Bisbee, obviously, but we had all these different ideas, and we finally came to that one, and it was the best one. So I think it's worth it just to not
Oh,
have
yeah.
to worry about moving it. And I can't imagine they don't want it there. It must help.
They,
Right.
they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do enjoy it. And Michael has had his work in there. He hasn't had anything in a while, but their kids, are part of the machine, and I'm happy that they are. And so Tamara does our photography when we need it. And, there's just a really good relationship that I would like to keep strong by acknowledging them for not having an event this year. So
Yeah.
what happened? Yeah.
I did have one question. Do you want that $600 to come out of operational expense, or do you want it to come out of the cigarette machine money that we take in?
What's the difference? I guess I didn't realize.
It's really not a difference. It's just where it comes out of. So one is for the cigarette and one is just operational expenses. So it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I didn't know if you had a preference.
Karen?
For bookkeeping, I would say take it out of the cigarette machine.
Yes.
Because I just approved the budget for the Arts Commission for the city. So there's a bunch of it's confusing to me, even though Dinah did a great job of explaining it to me. But I think ultimately it's just about keeping track of what's coming from what. So I'll say this motion then, if that's okay. I move to approve to pay the Bisbee Convention Center $600 for 2021 for the placement of the cigarette art machine in the convention center. Does that sound
Actually,
good?
can we modify that to the case? Oh, well, no, keep it the way it is. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think the case is an add-on.
Yeah.
Do I have a second then?
A second.
All ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right. So we will pay them $600 for 2021. And that would, that just sort of cements the machine there, since the machine is our moneymaker. Item 13, discussion and possible direction to chair and vice chair of the Bisbee Art Commission on whether or not to participate in a partnership with the Herald Review. And that's Nabur, I think. And so this was an invitation that we received via email through Nina, right? Yeah. And so Sharon, did you have a chance to look at that?
I did. It's just another social platform. I'm over it myself, but I'm enjoying, by the way, now Zooming with everybody on these meetings. But I don't know, would we use it? They do seem, but okay, as I say that, the platform is growing. There is a bigger population of people looking at it. So it's a very community conscious activities and things like that go through Sierra Vista, Palominos, Bisbee, yeah. So.
Well, I'm going to ask this. Does anybody on this commission have any interest in being the person that gets the information to something like the Herald Review, Nabur? Does that appeal to anyone?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I don't know. Does anyone have a relationship with the Herald that's actively involved in publicizing or any type of relationship with the Herald Review now?
In the past, when things were a little bit normal, we have had a relationship, and this goes a little aside, sorry, Nina, but I'll pull it back in. We are, when we have an event or anything, all we ever had to do was call the Herald, and they showed up and they photographed it and they put it on the cover, or they put it on the cover of the art section or whatever. So they were great about that. And that's actually, something that we can consider. We should probably contact them about this window, since we didn't get it in the last window, because they're very good about sending out a good photographer and putting it, in a nice place on the paper. And so the review's been pretty good to us, about that. It changes depending on who the journalist is. Like sometimes they're here in Bisbee and that helps. But what I would be looking for is somebody who would want to reach out specifically through this platform and write things up like, hey, we're having an informational session or this or that, It'd be more like you're just submitting information. And perhaps
Yeah.
that's something that Angela would be interested in since she's not here.
Yeah. Angela's job, you're right. She'd be,
That's right.
she would
That's
be
right.
she would be perfect for this.
Mhm.
Bill, you're back on the machine.
I would be happy to do it if I kind of had, you know, a little bit more specifics on what to do, but I'd be happy to take that on.
You would be,
Just to contact someone there and send them emails or phone calls about what's going on.
There's a site where we joined called Nabur or Neighbor, looks like.
I'm on it. I have it
Yeah.
personally.
did you,
Oh, good.
Amy, did you see okay, on the very end of our agenda packet, there's a letter from them?
No, it's probably like page 35 or something.
Page
Yeah, and it
23.
has all of the, you can click here on that email.
Mhm.
It should work. If not, I can send you the actual email she sent me and I can forward that to you if it doesn't work.
I would be happy to do that.
Do you want to check it out and see what you think about doing it and then
Yeah,
get back
I
to
don't
it?
have a problem with that.
Because things like the grant funding, I mean, even though you have to obviously be explicit about saying that our grant funding is for Bisbee, but it does reach Bisbee too, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, it could be helpful. It's one of those things.
Even saying things like, hey, we've got a new window on Main Street
Yeah.
celebrating, you know, deceased artists of Bisbee.
Yeah, exactly.
Could we highlight or an artist periodically in that? I went to the Service to Herald's introduction to the neighborhood thing, and they were very open to as many, you know, doing more and more online. So they were very open to suggestions for how they can reach out into the community any possible way. And so highlighting a specific artist in the Bisbee area that would be more work for Amy. But
Yeah. I don't think that's what this platform is about. It's not about advertising, but it's more about getting out like just
general
information. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Amy, you're up for checking it out and seeing what we can do?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I go right ahead and contact I'm looking over the letter.
Yeah, what I would do is that, so I think that for something like this, and Nina, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have to create an account for the Arts Commission. Is that right?
I have personal account, but yes, it says click here to create an account.
And so
But I maybe contact that person who sent it, Dana Chue.
Mhm.
I'll first ask her how she pronounces her last name.
yeah, I don't have no idea.
Yeah, she's got a number and an email I can reach out. And then if I send her an email, do I also copy Nina on
Yeah,
that?
you can do that. But the other thing too is when you ask them to post something on there, if you could send me what you're going to send them, because unfortunately in this day and age with social media, I have to have a record of everything that is posted for any of our commissions or our government.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. So I'll just contact her and ask her those questions, and then I'll get with Nina, or also with Nina.
Great.
Do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
Yay.
Amy.
Thanks.
All right. And then item 13 is pretty simple. Discussion and possible approval to pay Karen Schumacher and Sharon Setter for the items they purchased for the window tribute display that will be in the Restoration Museum. So Nina, I have 2 receipts and I'll give you guys the amounts right now. So from Dick Blick, I purchased foam core, X-Acto knife, mounting spray, and some teeny tiny little easels for
For the museum.
for the museum. And then of course Sharon had all these things printed. I spent $73.97. Sharon spent $127.98, and in total we spent $201.95. And I'm going to scan these and send these to Nina tomorrow. So what we're looking for is an approval to repay us for the money that we spent.
I move that we repay Karen Schumacher and Sharon Stetter for the money they spent.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Thanks. I want my $70 back. I know Sharon also spent more money than that because she's bought paint and things, but
Yeah, but
she's always incredibly giving about that. So
I'm not having to buy anything these days. There's been no auctions. No.
bringing us to item 14, which is I'm thinking about putting this on as an agenda item. I want you guys to think about this, and I know it's really hard, but do we want to start planning some sort of event for 2021? In the past, we have had the art auction, which we know is the most time-consuming thing on earth. But we made, I think what did we make? We did
One
like
year we did 10 grand.
yeah, we did 14, and
That's right.
and then some. We've also had events. We had the delightful Kites and Cocktails event on Subway, which was like,
Yes.
I would have to say that I think the commission members were as drunk as the public, thanks to the cocktails being very heavy-handed. They were like the heaviest cocktails I've ever had. But it was great, and the public painted kites, and we sold them, and we didn't make as much money as a huge event, but we did fine, and it was delightful. We did an opening for the Sig Art machine. That was great. And we also did a Christmas party for the Sig Art machine. So I just want you guys to think about, do we want to try and do an event this year? And I mean, the scale is up to you guys. It could be huge. It could be an art auction. But if we want to do that, we have to start planning very, very soon.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have a smaller event. It's a lot of it is just PR. We want to remind the public that we're here and talk about what we do and have people interact with artists and things. So I like the idea that we do something a little bit different every time. So if anybody has any ideas, we'll put that on as an agenda item, just the general discussion.
Yes.
It feel like things are opening, but it also could be the apocalypse. I don't know. So we none of us know, so probably should plan accordingly. I mean, maybe we should have a party more if it's the apocalypse, but I'd like to put that on. The other future agenda item, other than recanting the ones that we usually do, is that I really want to have a serious discussion about something that's very close to my heart, which is other than the brats, is the lack of really vivacious parades in this town. I really think that I mean, not the turkey vultures, but I think that when you go to 4th of July sometimes and things, there's not a lot of interaction between the two communities, like Old Bisbee and Warren and things, and there's a lot of things missing. So I would like to discuss somehow the Arts Commission getting involved in parades or sponsoring things like that. I don't know. It's not fully formed, but it's something that I've always been disappointed that all these different events are so separate when we could have one really incredible event.
Yeah, we were talking about doing that for Earth Day down in Warren.
Oh, cool.
So,
But just
something like-
coordinating and having, I guess Earth Day is going to be too close, but
Right.
coordinating the art cars and the puppet makers and the band, all these different things together, I think that we could really, do something. So that's kind of a personal thing that I would love to put on there and talk about. And then, does anybody have any other agenda items?
I don't have another agenda item. I just wanted to add that it was, Mahala Lewis is the art teacher.
Nope.
At the,
Yay!
That's who it is.
Mahala Lewis. Pretty name.
Mahala Lewis. So I'll reach out to her again. Okay.
Don't
And
tell her I couldn't remember her name.
I'm definitely going
Not
to.
an easy name. Mahala.
It is not. I can't think of anything. I know that Allison is very, very active both in the San Jose area because of the library and downtown. And she's a good resource to contact about any ideas that she may have that we could have shared events. and I can reach out to her if you would like me to.
I don't think it's too, oh yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't think it's that hard to get a parade organized in this town.
No, I just think there's a way to work. We could all work together and have the best damn parade on earth. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
I like it. I lived in a small town before in Black Canyon City, and they'd have a parade on Memorial Day, I think, but anybody in the town could just be in the parade, and it was a blast. So
Getting people. to
parades are
participate.
fun.
Mhm, they are fun.
But we can name it, you know, something to celebrate us coming out again as a community and interacting. Just like a breath of fresh air, not any specific holiday, but just because we need to interact with one another again, and we just want to get out and celebrate.
So
Yeah.
Nina, let's put on
It's
the
a great
agenda.
idea.
We'll talk about it next time.
Mm.
And then the only thing I wanted, this is an announcement, not an agenda item, but I'll say it really fast. Central School should be having a movie outside on the 22nd of April. So just keep you posted. There will be an outdoor movie at Central School on Thursday, the 22nd of April.
Okay.
As long as the blow up movie screen does not float away. So keep your eyes open because there will be limited tickets, you know? So if you see that or have any questions about it, let me know. Yeah, with that said, Mr. Higgins,
I move that we adjourn.
Yeah,
favorite thing to do.
I agree.
I second.
Did you agree or second? Oh,
Did
Ginny
both.
seconded. All eyes.
I.
Bye.
Okay. Everybody have a lovely night. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.